Have you ever thought about this? It's kind of weird, right? You can watch your pizza moving block by block on a map, but then a simple bank transfer can feel like it's stuck in the Stone Age. Well, that gap isn't about the internet itself, it's all about how we process data.
And that expectation for instant is everything now. You tap like on a photo, you expect it to show up immediately. You get a fraud alert from your bank the second a weird charge happens. We've been trained to want everything now, and any system that makes us wait just feels broken.
And that brings us to this huge shift. See, the old way, batch processing, was fine when things were slower. You just collect a big pile of data all day and then run a report overnight. But what if you need to stop credit card fraud as it's happening? That old method is completely useless. The delay, that latency, was a massive bottleneck. We needed something new. Now, we did get some early real-time systems. Tools like RabbitMQ were a decent first step, but they had a ceiling. When you have a company like LinkedIn just exploding with growth and generating a tsunami of data every second, well, those early systems just couldn't handle it. They started to buckle under the pressure. The world needed something built for that kind of insane scale.
And that's where our hero enters the story. The engineers at LinkedIn were facing this data explosion head-on. So they decided, you know what? We're just going to build the solution ourselves. They needed something revolutionary, not just a little bit better.
So back in 2010, Kafka was born. It was built from the ground up to be this high-speed, distributed data pipeline. Then, just a year later, LinkedIn did something amazing that gave it away to the world as an open-source project. And today, it's pretty much the undisputed king of real-time data.
So what is it really? The official definition sounds a bit technical, but here's the best way to think about it. Imagine a superpowered central post office for data. It lets all the different parts of a huge system send and receive messages or streams of data instantly and reliably without ever losing a single one.
Okay, so how does it actually pull this off? Let's pop the hood and take a look at the core components. You'll see it's actually a pretty elegant system once you break it down.
You've really just got three main players on the team. First, the producer. This is anything that creates data, like you clicking a button on a website. Then you have the broker. This is the heart of Kafka, the server that takes all that data, stores it safely, and keeps everything organized. A bunch of brokers working together is called a cluster. And finally, the consumer. That's the application that reads the data to do something useful, like updating a dashboard or sending you that pizza delivery notification.
Now, the data itself is sent in little packets called messages. And they're not just random bits of info, they're nicely structured. You've got the value, which is the actual data you care about, a key, which helps keep things in order, and some headers for extra info. This organization is what makes Kafka so incredibly efficient. Producers don't just shout messages into the void. They publish them to specific channels called topics. A topic is really just a category. So a shopping site might have topics for orders, user clicks, or inventory updates. This is great because consumers can subscribe only to the topics they care about. It's just like subscribing to a podcast or a specific music playlist. So you can think of a single topic as a one-lane highway. All the data flows down it, one message after another in perfect order, which is great for organization, but as you can imagine, a single lane can get jammed up pretty quick if you have a lot of traffic. And this is Kafka's secret weapon for scale. It takes that one-lane road and splits it into a massive, multi-lane superhighway. These lanes are called partitions, and this is what allows an absolutely insane amount of data to flow through at the same time. Partitions are the absolute key to Kafka speed. They let you have multiple consumers reading from the same topic all at once, each in their own lane. And to make sure nothing gets lost, every single message inside a partition gets a unique ID number called an offset. Think of it like a bookmark, so Kafka always knows exactly what's been read.
Okay, so we've got the basic mechanics down, but why did Kafka totally take over and become the industry standard? Let's get into what makes it so dominant.
First off, the speed and scale are just unbelievable. Thanks to that multi-lane highway design, it can process millions of messages a second without even breaking a sweat. And the best part? It scales out. If you need more power, you just add another server to the cluster. It's built to grow with you. Second, it's practically bulletproof. Your data's safe. Kafka rates everything to disk, so it's not just floating in memory.
And even better, it copies every partition onto multiple different servers. So if one of those servers suddenly dies, no problem. A replica on another machine just takes over instantly. Bottom line, you don't lose data.
And the developers haven't stopped making it better. For a long time, you needed this separate, kind of complex tool called Zookeeper to manage the whole cluster. But now modern Kafka has its own system built right in, called Craft. This just makes everything simpler, more efficient, and even more scalable. It's a huge win for anyone running it.
All right, enough of the technical stuff. Let's talk about where you're actually seeing Kafka in the wild, because it is everywhere.
I mean, it is a workhorse. It's the engine behind real-time analytics, taking in millions of user clicks to power live dashboards. It's used to pull in log files from thousands of servers all at once. That fraud alert you get from your bank 2 seconds after a weird purchase? Yep, that's probably Kafka. It's even crucial for the Internet of Things, handling data from millions of sensors.
And look at this. It's not just a niche tech thing anymore. Finance is a huge user, for sure, but so are retail, healthcare, and pretty much every major industry you can think of. It's become a truly foundational piece of modern technology.
This quote really just sums it all up, doesn't it? If a company is serious about handling data in real time and at a massive scale, you can bet they're using Apache Kafka to do it.
So Kafka was the perfect answer for the data challenges of the last decade. But, technology never sits still. When you think about the future, with AI, with billions more connected devices, it really makes you wonder, what's the next great challenge going to be? What problem will be so huge it will force us to invent the next Kafka?
And that is Apache Kafka in a nutshell. I hope this gives you a much better sense of what this incredible tool is and why it's so important. Thanks so much for tuning in. Subscribe for more. See you in the next one.